Jeffrey, why does your physique look like that? Why can't you just get rid of that lower belly fat? Jeffrey's friend painfully grabs his stomach. Get off of me, get off of me! Even though they're all joking and laughing, Jeffrey can't help but to be hurt. When he's about to have a shower, he takes his shirt off and he just looks at his physique. I've been going to the gym for months and I still don't even look any different. Oh, Jeffrey, if only you knew the secrets of Adonis. Adonis has the ultimate male physique. Just look at those delts. Through 10,000 workouts, Adonis has fine-tuned the exact program that would build an aesthetic physique. I started lifting weights about 10 years ago, and I'll show you a bunch of pictures from my journey. It's been a life-changing journey. I can't even believe I got this far. I definitely am not finished yet, and I still want to keep going. I'm 6'1", and I've never even been 200 pounds before, so I'm doing a big bulk right now, and my goal is to get to 220 for the first time in my life to ever push past 200. But I'm very happy with the progress that I've made and also the life that this journey built for me. Not just the physique and the confidence and the attraction that came from it, but my own self-respect, my own discipline, my own understanding of consistency and progressive overload. Basically, when you see the physique, let's be honest, it's sexy. Like, I could act all humble and stuff and tell you, oh, you know, it's a really bad physique, but it is fucking awesome having a physique like this. And I've literally become attractive. Like, I'll just stand there in like gyms and in public, and I'll have people come up to me and compliment me and ask me questions, which is fucking awesome. That I'll have people like ask me for advice and say, you know, that they're in the gym as well and they're struggling or that they're trying to make progress. I've had girls who literally text me like after we've been together saying it was so sexy seeing how your abs like squeeze together when you're on top of me and everything. It's fucking awesome. But not only that, it's helped me even in my business. The first program that I ever sold was my aesthetic body course. So I used to sell it like $400, which was everything I ever learned about fitness. I made like 40 custom workout routines. I literally copied and pasted the link, so all you have to do is click on a link and you get everything needed. I don't even sell it anymore. Everything that I have for sale is literally just in the second link in my description. But what I'm saying is that the journey to build a muscular body changed my life forever, and I want to help you to do it even faster and easier than it was for me. When I first started to train, I wanted to make progress so quickly, and you probably do as well, right? You're probably looking for like more things you can do to make progress. So you'd go to the gym, you'd track your macros, but then after that, you're like, what else can I do? What I used to do, which I wouldn't recommend, is I used to just spend 2 or 3 hours a day on YouTube just watching like fitness videos. And if I'm honest, I actually think that didn't help. I think that made me more agitated and more impatient with the results. If I could go back in time, I would do the essential tasks that were required to make gains, and then I would have picked up a different hobby or a different habit or like a business to focus on instead, because I only stopped feeling impatient with making gains when I started a business, like I started this YouTube channel, because then I had something else to focus on. So my first piece of advice for you, if you're feeling impatient with the rate of gains, especially as a natural, you have to keep yourself busy. You have to have something else other than the gym which is productive in your day. So most people have like school and work, which they don't give a fuck about. Then you've got the gym, which is awesome. You need one more thing in your life, and I would highly recommend to just make that an online business and basically to just post content of your gym journey. The beautiful fact of the journey you're on right now is you can literally just make a fitness YouTube channel, fitness TikTok, fitness Instagram, and it's not unheard of in 6 months time that this could pay for your entire gym membership. It could pay for all the protein and supplements and everything else that you need. And if you work very hard and you get quite lucky, within a year or 2 years, it could be like massive. You could be making $5, $10, $25, $30, $50,000 a month if you do end up popping off. But it's honestly realistic that within like a year, you could be making like $500, $1,000 a month, even if you take it kind of casually. So I'd highly recommend that you start, and I'm not trying to like sell you, oh yeah, by the way, you know, I'll help you build a business. I don't really do that, but just start posting the content, teaching what you're learning like I'm doing here. You'll build up a following, you'll build up a community. You might even find people who watch you who go to the same gym as you, and then you can train with them, which is fucking awesome. Now, the next thing is understanding what actually builds the muscle mass. Now, you probably know this, but I really want to break something down, which I only realized like years into the journey. Let me ask you a question and really try and figure out the right answer to this. What one variable causes muscle growth? One variable. Is it diet, protein? Is it sleep? Is it testosterone? It's none of those things. The one variable is training. It is stimulating the muscle growth. Because imagine this, there's lots of people on earth who sleep pretty well, but they're not just jacked unless if they train. People who sleep well but don't train still have normal shit looking average physiques. People who eat pretty good diets but don't train still have normal pretty shit average looking physiques. Even guys with naturally fairly high levels of testosterone, 700, 800, if they don't train well, they don't actually have that much muscle mass. But here's the interesting point, and this is weird because I've had so many other YouTubers disagree with me on this, saying, he's saying that sleep's bad. I'm not saying that sleep is fucking bad. I'm just saying that I fucking go outside of my house unlike all these other nerds, and I'm telling you, this is how it works, right? This is the interesting point. The guy who trains, even if he's got a shit diet, even if he's got shit sleep, even if he's got pretty low testosterone, can still build muscle. Think of every one of those frat boys and jocks and, you know, like the sort of young guys who are like party boys. They drink alcohol, they're sleep deprived, but just because they train, they can still build a good amount of muscle mass. The single most important lever you could ever touch when it comes to building muscle is not sleep, testosterone, diet, at all. Those are way smaller than most people realize. It is your training. 90% of your thoughts in terms of, I want to make more muscle, should go into the way that you train. You can have awesome sleep, but if you train like a bitch, you're not going to make progress. But if you train extremely hard, and let's say you're working a full-time job and you're studying and you've got nighttime shifts and everything, and you can only sleep like 5 hours, you'll still gain more muscle mass than the guy who's got really good sleep, but then doesn't even go to the gym. He skips the gym days. And what exactly can you do to make more muscle in terms of your training? What I have personally found, it's gonna sound stupid and weird, and I know people are gonna disagree, but this is just what I've seen in my life. You've got to train like a real bodybuilder, not like the fitness YouTubers who tell you the same workout routine, which is heavy compound lifts, so heavy bench press, followed by isolations, 8 to 12 reps. Every single big motherfucker I've trained with, every single bodybuilder I've trained with, every time, if you go into the gym and there's jacked looking Chad in there, and you see their workout routine, it's so weird. They will never ever do heavy bench press, heavy deadlift, heavy pull-ups. They never do that. First exercise will be a 20 rep set of like fucking chest machine press. I'm telling you, like, I know that sounds stupid, and if you've ever seen a workout routine from the internet, you'd be thinking, wait, that's completely unoptimized. That should be like later on in the workout. But I'm just telling you from what I have personally seen anecdotally from the guys who have the most muscle mass, they train like bodybuilders, not like weightlifters, not like powerlifters. They don't do any heavy compound lifts. They go and grab the machines, the cables, and the dumbbells for sets of usually around 15 to 30. High reps, right? Think about that. A set of 15 to 30 is usually like the rep range they're going for. On the internet, it seems to me like everyone goes for like a 1 to 5 rep range per set, which is like basically strength training. Why do you think a guy who can lift heavy, like he's got a good impressive bench press, why do you think he would be telling everyone else to lift heavy as well? Could it be that maybe that's not the optimal way to train, but that it's almost like a fucking pyramid scheme, that since he's quite strong in bench press, he wants everyone else to care about their bench press numbers as well? I know that sounds like a weird conspiracy, but I'm telling you, like, getting advice about fitness and muscle online is so cancerous. The amount of motherfuckers who used to say stuff like drink a gallon of milk a day and do squats every day. The advice you get online will have you looking like one of those, like, just like weirdly not even muscular, like definitely not aesthetic, but like I'll try and get my editor to show you some pictures where it's like he's kind of got a bit of size, but it's just weirdly high body fat percentage. His chest looks kind of weird. It doesn't have like pecs, but he's got like a really strong squat. He can squat twice his body weight. Who gives a fuck? We're talking about muscle mass, not just strength. People online think strength and muscle mass are the same thing, that it correlates really well. No, just fucking training correlates with muscle mass. So my advice to you, if you're a young guy and you don't really give a shit about like going online to tell other men how much weight you can lift, if you just want to look good, if you just want a physique that makes you respect yourself, consider not actually lifting heavy for this purpose. You can lift heavy for fun as a hobby, but for this purpose, consider that the exercises you choose are the safe ones, which often are machines, cables, and maybe dumbbells, and everything is actually light. We're talking 15 to 30 reps per set. And then one of the other things I've always seen in training with bodybuilders is they'll start to cheat. Like once they've hit failure and they can't press it up anymore, they'll start to cheat cheat with either momentum, or they'll get someone to spot them so that they can basically just get the lowering phase. So this might look like, for example, he's doing like a light dumbbell press, and then the last few reps when he can't move it anymore, he'll almost like sit up to have the dumbbell kind of come up, then he'll just slowly raise it down, or he'll have a spot that helps him to bring the dumbbells fully up so that he can slowly raise it down. The way that I train now is similar to the bodybuilder Mike Mensa, where I only do 1 to 2 sets per exercise, but I always train with someone and we basically joke and say the first rep is when you've already hit failure. So basically you hit failure, then the set starts. Then from there, you basically need your spot to help you to like lift up the weight. Let's say we're doing like incline Smith machine press, right? So for the upper chest, basically I'll hit failure on the set first. It'll take me like 15 reps. I can't push it up anymore. Then my spotter will come. He'll lift up the weight and then let go, and I will literally just take all the resistance. Then he'll lift it up with me and we'll literally do as many reps as possible to the point that he can't even lift up anymore. When both of us, my spotter has hit failure, that's when our set has complete. That's fucking insane. Think about that. So imagine we're doing bicep curls, like preacher curls with the little barbell. I'll do as many reps as possible, usually 15 to 20 with a certain weight, till I can't even move it anymore. Then I'll slowly let it come down. My spotter will grab the barbell with me and help me bring it up. Then he'll let go and I'll literally just stretch it. Like basically I'm doing nothing, and even his like wrists are fatiguing from helping me to bring the weight back up. I've found incredible progress, but also I've knocked off like 5 hours a week of my training time, and I think that I'm making faster progress this way as well. The rule that I want to pass on to you is, if you want to gain muscle, specifically train to gain muscle. It sounds like common sense what I've just said, but it's likely that the workout routine that you've been following is actually a bastardized workout routine that's trying to get you some strength gains and also muscle gains. The two correlate, but they're not as similar as people make them out to believe. You'll gain more muscle if you only think about muscle and don't think about the strength for like the compound lift. If you want to come in the next day to hit some like 1 rep maxes for fun, by all means go ahead, but keep your bodybuilding session pure. Bodybuilders aren't hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rep sets. They're not. They might still look like they're lifting heavy because they're massive and they've been training for 10, 20 years, but they're not trying to hit fucking PRs with 1 rep maxes. That's stuff that people on the internet do just so they can fucking tell each other about it. Be careful of falling into that, because I've wasted a lot of time doing like 3 or 5 rep sets when my goal was just muscle mass. When your training is dialed in, that's when things like sleep and diets and supplements can now start to help. There's a study which is so interesting about sleep, which was that there was 2 groups of participants and both of them are about to lose like 10 pounds of body weight. One group lose the 10 pounds, but they lost 5 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle. The other group lost 10 pounds of body weight as well, but they lost 9 pounds of fat and 1 pound of muscle. Something along this lines, right? I read this study like a while ago. So basically you'd want to be in the second group that lost a lot less muscle mass, right? What was the difference between these? The first group were only allowed to sleep for 5.5 hours. The second group slept for 8 hours. So just how long you sleep makes a difference on how much muscle you'll keep if you're in a calorie deficit. So that's huge, right? That's so huge. When you're in a calorie deficit, when you're eating less calories and you're losing weight, often you'll lose a bit of muscle as well. It's very hard to grow muscle when you're in a calorie deficit, never mind just even maintaining it. Most people, when they're in a calorie deficit, they just can't train as hard and they end up losing like a little bit of muscle. But if you're sleep deprived, you'll lose even more. So what I said earlier about like, oh yeah, you know, sleep and diet and stuff, training's more important. I never once told you that sleep's not important. It is. But the single biggest lever we've got to remember is just the training. In terms of diet to build the muscular body, everyone has different mindsets. One person will tell you that you need high carbs. The other one will tell you that you should have high fats to stimulate more testosterone. What I'll tell you after being in this journey for 10 years is, honestly, this is going to be anti-clickbait. It doesn't fucking matter. I've met lots of big guys who have a high carb diet. I've met lots of big guys who are on keto or on carnivore. Basically, every diet seems to work. The only one variable that I've seen with the biggest guys I've ever met, they've got fairly high protein, but even not like high for bodybuilders, as in like 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. So it's high compared to the general public, but it's not like much higher than most guys who are in the fitness niche. So you can basically eat what you want, but I have seen from the bodybuilders that doing bulks and cuts works a lot better than maintaining. There's influencers online that want to sell you the dream that you can just maintain, and you can if you're on steroids, and you can if you don't really care about gaining that much muscle mass. But the good thing about going on a bulk is that your body weight will actually increase, right? So if you're like 140 pounds, 150 pound young man right now, you should be bulking because that's fucking victim weight. You don't want to be at a fucking low body weight as a guy. I'm telling you right now, I used to get pushed around in like nightclubs and parties up until I first ever hit 180 pounds. That's when literally guys started to respect me in the street. It's just how it goes. Men respect size. Bulking gives you size. This maintaining stuff is really cute when you're like 14 years old and you want to look like a cute little TikTok boy. But when you want to start to look like a man, you want to get closer to the 200 pound body weight. And obviously this is going to be based on height. There'll be 16-year-olds who are already 210 pounds because they're 6'4" and whatever. But just getting close to 200 pounds makes you look, feel, and get treated like a man. And finally, I'm going to tell you the supplements that you should actually spend your money on. Number 1, creatine. Number 2, if you want like whey protein. But I actually think that there's something better than whey protein. And of course, you know, real food, meat, whatever, right? But I actually like casein protein. You can go and do research and go and buy some. Casein is kind of like whey protein, but it releases slower. So the whey, if you wanted to like really optimize, this is what I do when I want to maximize muscle mass. I would wake up and have a scoop of whey protein as soon as possible so that I'm starting muscle protein synthesis like literally right away. But right before I go to sleep, I would have a scoop of casein protein because that kind of helps you make muscle almost twice as long as whey protein does. So whey in the morning, casein at nighttime covers you. And then there's only 3 other supplements that you can take for testosterone that have actually got a good proven benefit, and they are vitamin D, zinc, and Tonkat Ali. I take all 3. The top link in the description is the Adonis protocol that will turn you into the new version of yourself, like this masculine fucking man version of yourself. Go click that. It's completely for free. You can join. It's like a challenge for you. And also you can subscribe to this channel. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.